Hello everybody, I am Capoeira Ambassador Lewis Watson and today... sorry. I am good at Capoeira though. Okay.
Hi, my name's Lewis Watson and I somehow get away with calling myself a professional musician. However, now that me hobby's me jobby, I wanted to record a few mini-series and, with the help of some close friends, showcase some of the other passions that I've picked up during my life so far. Sit back, relax, and most importantly, enjoy.
Hello everybody, I am Capoeira Ambassador Lewis Watson and today we are in my kitchen. So, I don't know if you've been to Taco Bell. I have a few times. I'm not bragging or anything, but I've been a few times. There's one in Nottingham, actually. Fun story about going to Taco Bell in Nottingham. Almost got mugged because a guy forced me to stand on his shoes. And he said they were very expensive shoes. They were great shoes, lovely shoes. But he like put his foot under my foot as I was walking. He was like, "Man, you stood on my shoes." I was like, "No, you've walked underneath me there. That's what you've done." He didn't like that. Anyway, I went to Taco Bell and it was nice. So we're gonna start with the queso dip, which is like the cheese sauce that goes upon the Crunchwrap Supreme. It's a cashew-based queso dip. I know that a lot of vegans will probably go like, "Oh, again, cashew-based cheese." It's not really cheese, obviously. But I know that it's like a sore subject amongst vegans to have cashew cheese, but it's delicious. And this one is actually one of the very few cashew-based cheeses that I've made that you can't instantly taste the cashew, and it's because of this little fella here, this rose harissa. This is great, you pick it up in Sainsbury's. This makes a real difference and really adds to the depth of flavor, and I think it takes away from the cashew. Anyway, I've got half a cup of cashews here that I soaked in boiling water for, I don't know, 10 minutes. And that's just to soften them up for this. This is a high-speed blender and it would be fine, but I like to do this as good practice. And it's especially good if you don't have a high-speed blender because you can get away with it. So that goes in there, half a cup of it. These ramekins are great, aren't they? Big Soph bought them for me for this show. Love you, Big Soph. So after that, we're gonna add, this is half a cup of hot water. You don't want to add all of it because it will be too runny. So I like to measure out half a cup and then add about 2/3 of that. It's always better to add not enough water and need more than it is to add too much and not be able to go back. So do that. I add 1 clove of garlic. This is the garlic that I used in the One Block Breakfast episode, which you could click in the top right corner of the video to go through and watch if you feel so inclined. And I just stick that in as a whole clove. And then we go with nooch. Again, we spoke about this in the One Block Breakfast episode. It's just one of the best ingredients to add to like cheeses. Again, I personally don't think it tastes like cheese, but it adds like a real savory nuttiness, which I think is important for cheese. So I do 2 tablespoons of that, sometimes more. You'll see. The thing is, as with any cooking, any time you're cooking, you need to taste as you go because you're cooking for yourself, and you need to enjoy it. So you can follow recipes all you want, but we all have different tongues and we all taste differently. So it's important to taste as you go. Just kind of a sip of delicious Beavertown Gamma Ray American Pale Ale. Delicious. Okay, so we go with half a teaspoon of cumin. Cumin is something that very quickly you can add too much of it and it can ruin a dish. So I like to add, again, same with the water, like not enough, not as much as the recipe asks for, and then add more if needed. And then I have chili powder, again in a smoked garlic granule thing because I'm a klutz and I chucked the original container across the room and well, that's the end of that. Another half teaspoon of that. We're gonna have plenty of spice with the harissa, but it's nice to add that chili powder in there. And then I go with some salt. Again, a similar amount, probably like half a teaspoon to a teaspoon of salt. That's just 1 part salt and 1 part pepper, which is great. And then we go with the harissa. I like to do a tablespoon of this stuff. Dial it back if you don't love a spice as much as I do. I'm a spice fan and this certainly is spicy. So yeah, I like to do like a heaping tablespoon of that. Also, it's quite oily, this stuff, which is great because it means you don't have to add any extra oil, which is good. That gets added, and it also gives it like a great like orangey color, which queso dip has, you know, real queso dip. And then I chuck it on here and just blitz it up, really. We have this ultra blend, which makes it super fine. You could just blitz this as much as you want to get it as smooth as you want, but I would definitely recommend getting it as smooth as you can. So it's going to get really loud in here, boys. I apologize. Let's add some music. Is that okay? It's done. Perfect timing on hitting them folks. Is it? Did you hit it? Did you? So I hit them folks, right? That's what the dance move is called. But in the past tense, are you hitting them folks or are you hit them folksing? You know? Okay, so right now I can tell you that need a bit more water. So that's what I'm saying. We didn't add all of it. It's better to not add enough and knead it than add too much and not be able to take it away. So again, we'll go again. A little shaky. Shaky Jake. Do you remember that advert? Whoa, shaky Jake, wibble wobble, yum yum. It's a real milkshake, wibble wobble, yum yum. With like fresh grown milkshake. You don't grow milkshake though. You do? Wicked. And we're done. At 1 minute, so that's 2 minutes now in Das Blender. Oh, I'm strong. Okay. There you go, that's better. Very orange, there's a lot of harissa there, which is great. Do you know what? No, it's good. Nothing wrong with it. Right, so this is great. That's basically half of the recipe done right there, which is great. Now we're going to move on to the filling. So the filling, the Crunchwrap Supreme that I do has a few layers to it. So we start with the meat. I like to use this Vivera veggie mince. You could also use the Bruce. Can you chuck me that one there? Yeah. You can also use this, which is the Greek kebab. This is great because it's pre-seasoned. I would still add, like, I'm going to here, the fajita seasoning is always good on stuff like this, but it's pre-seasoned, so you don't really have to do anything to this. However, to make it a bit more authentic, I'm using the mince, which is great. Look alive! Vivera, like, as a whole, basically make great products, and they've actually sent me these spatula things because apparently they like my music, which is nuts. I'm a big fan. Vivera, if you're watching, keep it up, honey, you're doing so well. But actually, one thing to note with the Vivera products is blue means it's vegan. It says 100% vegan. If it's orange, it's vegetarian. So it will contain maybe some dairy products or honey or something. So look out for that. What I'm going to do also is I tend to do meat and then like a salsa of types. I'm going to do a corn salsa this time because it's a bit more cooling with the harissa. You don't want it to be too dense. This helps kind of offset that and complement it a bit. And what I like to do is cook the salsa in with the mince. If I'm doing a corn salsa, if I'm doing a tomato-based salsa, I would add that afterwards. You don't tend to cook tomato-based salsas. So yeah, I'm gonna bloody hell. So yeah, I'm gonna cook the salsa in with the veggie mince. So yeah, this is super easy to do. This only requires you to cook it for about 4 minutes. So I'm gonna add this to the salsa that I'm cooking because I want to get the corn not as much charred. I'd struggle to get it charred with what I've got here. If I had like a barbecue or something, I'd be able to char it and burn the corn, which would taste amazing. But I want to get basically a tiny bit of caramelization. I'm gonna get a white onion. This is gonna go in with the corn salsa. And then I'm gonna use a half of this half, so a quarter, of this remaining bit of onion to go in raw into the Crunchwrap because raw onion is like so good in tacos and Crunchwrap Supremes. Right, so this goes into the pan. In with a clove of garlic. Now I didn't actually crush this garlic. Need a bin bowl, guys. Okay, now I would always recommend crushing your garlic before starting anything else in any recipe that you're using garlic. However, I just tried to crush it and almost died. So make sure you have a stable surface and a stable mind. Just cutting up this garlic here to go in with the salsa. Oh, kill him. Like that. Let's turn this on. It's about to get real loud. On a low heat here, with a touch of rapeseed oil. Again, rapeseed oil is great because I think it has some omega-3s. Could be completely wrong. I think I read that somewhere. So yeah, get this going, as well as this corn. I'm going to add it as soon as this gets aromatic. As soon as you start smelling this, I'm going to add the corn. A touch of this salt and pepper here. Season at all stages of cooking, otherwise your food will be bland. All stages. Right. Let's go to 600 on this. And whilst that's going, I'm going to quarter some of these pomodorino, these baby plum tomatoes. These are great. Whenever I can, I get these. These are like the posh tomatoes, I guess. I'm just gonna cut these up to go in with the shredded lettuce as the like raw ingredients, the raw salsa. And then when that gets aromatic, I'm gonna add the corn and some of these B12 enriched mushrooms as well. Because this meal, this crunch wrap, has a load of different textures, and I think it's important to be able to differentiate the flavors that you're eating. And so I find that having like different shaped and different textured foods really helps make that happen. Gonna make 4 of these. So. That goes in this ramekin. Ramekin Skywalker. Thank you. Let's light this up. Uncle Phil there. I didn't introduce you guys again, did I?
No, you didn't, mate.
So I'm fortunate enough to have these wonderful childhood friends on the equipment. So over here, Charlie, this is Uncle Phil, God rest his soul, from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Yeah, this is Charlie here, loves rugby, or loved rugby. Loved rugby, I guess. Oh, it's so hot, isn't it? Over there is God's gift himself, Bruce Gray. He loves it. So this is getting aromatic now. So it's time to chop up some mushrooms to go in with it. Oh, that smells good, doesn't it? Right, so I like to slice the mushrooms and then go in with like a rough chop with something like this. Again, it's providing another texture, another flavor, and it helps because you don't want these to be too big because this is going to sit on pondy meat. You see the mushrooms are all sweated now. They've been busy hit them folksing. Let me know in the comments below what you would say. Because I'd say I was hitting them folks. I don't know, the English language, eh? Constant enigma, keeps you on your toes. But it helps you really explore, I guess, in a way. Oh gosh, beading. Jeremy beading. B-Day. Has anybody used the B-Day here?
I don't know how.
No, not the B-Day here. Has anybody here used the B-Day? Again, the English language. A and B-Day. So now you can see that really sizzling. It's a sizzling. Gonna add the corn in. This is like, I don't know. It's 3/4 of a cup of corn if you're working with American measurements, which everybody does by the sounds of things, in my experience. Corn goes in. I'm going to turn it up again. Pinch of salt and pepper. Let's talk about sex, baby. It's Salt and Pepper, the band. Excellent. So now that we've done that, I'm going to start chopping up this 1/4 of an onion to be added raw. Again, bin bowl. I'm an advocate for bin bowl. I might patent pending bin bowl. Do you think I'll get away with that?
Take it to the den, mate.
The den. Oh, Dragon's Den. And for that reason, I know. That was not Theopathetus. No, that wasn't Deborah Meaden. No, it's the
Scottish one.
it was the big Scottish one.
Yeah, Deborah Meaden. Jones.
No,
Duncan Valentine.
Duncan Valentine.
Not Scottish.
Yeah,
It's not,
yeah, he's got that old weathered face, and he goes, for that reason, I'm out.
Bullet for my Valentine.
Bullet for my Valentine. That's so good. Okay, there's some caramelization there happening, which is great. Right, now I'm going to add the mince. This is actually a really what is it?
Yummy.
Convincing. This is actually a really convincing mock meat. And what I'm going to add here is just a bit of that fajita seasoning that I showed you before. Got this from Asda for like 90p or something. This is great because it's like an all-in-one spice mix. And I'm basically going to just let this cook. The packaging for the mince said about 4 minutes, so I'm going to do that. Now, the tortillas. So, these are packaged in quite a unique way, actually, and it helps if you can get big tortillas. These are the biggest I could find that didn't have palm oil in them. So, palm oil isn't strictly a animal product, but I know that a lot of vegans in particular don't agree with how it's harvested. It's very destructive, and myself and Big Serve, we avoid palm oil, when we can. And I found that a lot of tortillas have palm oil in. The Weight Watchers ones don't, but they're quite small. And these ones are on deal, the old El Paso ones, and they're large, so this is great. But yeah, these are palm oil free, but it really helps to get the largest one you can, and you'll see why when we make them up. Grab one, and I'm making 4, so you'll see what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna basically chop this into quarters, because, again, it's quite difficult to explain without showing you, but you'll see why I do this very shortly. What provides that, so it's called a Crunch Wrap Supreme. What provides the crunch is Taco Bell, the authentic way to do it is to have a circular corn taco, the hard taco shell, and you basically use that as a cap. We don't have those here. I've looked everywhere, you don't have them. And I thought it'd be great to have some chili heat wave Doritos. So these are vegan as of this moment in time. They weren't, I think last year they had milk in them, but they're vegan now, which is great. And Sam the Cooking Guy, which is another channel on YouTube, he always says, like, if you can add flavor, why not, basically. So, layer 1 is the meat. The meat. You'd be surprised, it's very easy to add too much of this. I've gone for the largest tortilla wraps that I could find, and I will be packing this to the 9s, but it's very easy to go overboard, add too much, and then your tortilla bursts, and it's a real shame. Loud, wasn't it? Okay, so we've got the meat on there. Now what I like to do is go meat and then queso. I basically try and think of, if this was real cheese, I'd want it next to the meat so it could melt, you know? So that's my thought process going through this. So I do that, and then I go with the raw ingredients. So we've got some shredded lettuce here, some onion, and some tomatoes. Oh, come on. Some tomatoes there, very colourful, eh? And then I go with the crunch. And you'll find that most tortillas, the shapes, they basically have a very slight curl. And you want to use that to your advantage. So you see right here, this is like a little inward curl. And what I want to do is like build that up so that the curl is around the ingredients, so that it's as flat a profile as it can be. And again, you'll see why in a second. So I like to make, see that's a bit extreme, so we won't use that one. I like to make a little platform, I guess, of crisps, a little hexagon. Like this. I do one more to cover up that. And that's now your crunch, as well as a bit of heat now, because it's the chili heat wave flavour. Oh, I ruined that. Dexter, you don't like crisps, mate. One sniff of that and you're gone, aren't you? He's a brave boy. Now, what you need to do here is cap this off so nothing spills out. And the way I do that is, this is my like very simple guacamole. I made this in the One Block Breakfast episode, which again, you could click in the top right now on the card and you'll be sent straight through to that. And what I do is I basically grab a little bit here and I spread this onto our cap as kind of a glue, a flavor glue, guaco glue, patent pending. And you basically want to fold this up around said cap. Get in there. Just like this. And then you go, bit of heat, pon de pan, touch of oil, tiny bit of oil. Even that might be a bit too much. And you get it on there, bottom first. Just like that. Now what we're doing here is cooking it makes it taste a bit better. It's crispier as well, which is really nice, but it also helps keep that shape so that when you're eating it, it's not spilling everywhere. So you want to cook this until it's a little bit brown. You'll see. And whilst that cooks, I'm going to make up another one. Hey kitten, hey, have you been to Taco Bell? No, probably not. Probably hasn't. And what I have here, I was given this when I was in San Antonio in Texas by a lovely guy that traveled a long way to come and see me. He gave me a load of, he's from Mexico City, I think. Gave me a load of Mexican crisps, sweets, and sauces. And this one is called Valentina Salsa Picante, Mexican hot sauce. It's delicious. I found that it's perfect for these. It's just like the fire Taco Bell sauce, which is quite spicy. Perfect. I never have these without this Valentina sauce. And actually, the guy that gave that to me got a speeding ticket on his drive home, which whomps. I'm really sorry, man. Here you go. So let's give this a turn. So you see now it's got a load of color, which is great. The guac is caramelized as well. I would be tempted to give that a bit more time, but we're gonna roll with it because we're all hungry. 5 more seconds there, I'm gonna call that done. Now I'm gonna chop it into quarters and we're all going to enjoy it. But yeah, it's a super simple snack. I make about 2 of these each for myself and Big Soph. This batch will make 4 or 5. 4 if you're being generous, 5 if you're having normal human portions. But as you can see, it's super easy. This queso applies to a load of different recipes. You can use it in everything, but I think that for this, it's perfect having that spicy cheese sauce. And it's a great use of this harissa as well. I really recommend this one. It's got rose petals in it and it really helps with its aromatics. Very good. But yeah, let's eat this, eh? So what I like to do, let me turn this off, and you can smell that like toasted, bread smell. Taste. So there you go. You see the avocado there, you got the mince there, you got the queso and all the raw like salsa ingredients, as well as the corn inside. Yeah, gorgeous. Super cool. Wow, he's cool. Super simple meal, very convincing, authentic. I'd be very surprised if someone could tell that this was vegan, honestly. Whereas before, maybe with the tofu breakfast, it was less of a, trying to convince people that it's vegan, but to make a nice alternative. This, I think, is quite convincing. But yeah, try it out. Let me know what you think. I hope you enjoy this mini-series. It's been fun to shoot. I'm so hot, really, really hot. If you did enjoy it, please like, comment, subscribe, all the normal stuff. It really helps me out. I hope you enjoy it if you try it out, and I'll see you next time.